Hey guys, welcome back. Today's day 2 of October, and today we're going to be doing some ghost stories. Sorry, my kitty cat's here. You want to see her? Come here. She's a little chubster, but this is her. Mwah. You're not leaving, you're stuck in here for a second. Okay, but we're going to be doing more like police ones. So, let's see. So let's do this one. Please, I will leave a link because this is on Reddit. Police officer working the desk, 1500 to 2300. Fire alarm signal goes off. Many years ago, the police department offered alarm monitoring service. Still had 10 to 12 places that were hardwired, and it would require pulling apart a lot of equipment to disconnect the system, so we just kept it going. First shift dispatch is already punched in, so she took it. I'm headed out the door to the fire department when 911 rings from the same address. I answered. No one, in the other hand, assumed they barely got to the call before passing out. I bolt out the back door, hop in a squad car, radioing the 911 call on a channel 3 that both police fire can hear, and that I'm going directly to the house. Arrive just as another unit shows up, no signs of smoke, no sign of anything. Older woman comes walking up the street, pushing a wheelchair with an elderly lady, her mother. They live there, and just went out for an early evening stroll before dinner. Tell them what we have going on. Nobody else lives there, and as far as the elderly lady can remember, the alarm was disconnected from the house years ago during some renovations. They don't have any alarm system either, just a couple of smoke fire detectors. We do a walk around the house, get to the back door off the kitchen, and you can clearly see and smell gas. We turned off the gas at the main set up some fans to air it out, and find a cracked gas line going to the oven. Daughter says she spilled some coffee she was making for their walk and had to move the oven a few inches to clean. Probably broke the line, pushing the oven back in. Nothing else in the house is disturbed, and both phones are on the hook. Fire chief shows up about 15 minutes into the call. He goes over to the two ladies and gives them both a hug. He's nearly in tears. The elderly lady in the wheelchair, her husband was the fire chief 60 plus years ago for our department. The daughter, her husband passed away a few years ago. He was also a member of our department. Never believed in ghosts or spirits, but that call made me think maybe who spend their lives doing good are allowed by some power to look over their loved ones every so often. So that one had a lot of errors, because obviously they were trying to type and keep it short, but pretty much what it was they had a hardwired alarm system, which is what they used to do back in the day, and it was supposedly disconnected, but it went off. So they think that the husband who passed away is the one who set it off, which is cool. That's pretty cool if you ask me. I mean, so I'm going to read this one. I'm a second generation firefighter. My father spent the later days of his career as a fire safety director at a massive mental asylum. Our state version of OSHA has to come and do inspections at all facilities. His was no exception. So the OSHA inspectors make their way to an abandoned part of the facility that needs to house the criminally insane. The absolute worst of the worst. Serial killers, rapists, cannibals, extinction. My father left them with the keys and a flashlight because the electricity didn't work. The inspectors were radioing back to my father that they kept hearing talking and footsteps, which was impossible. Night unit squatters could move around because each section is isolated and locked doors. To prevent escape, eventually the inspectors give up and actually flee without finishing. My dad decides to stick around and check the alarm boxes. They didn't. As he's checking on alarms, he feels as if someone is watching him from down the hall. As he looks, a shadow forms with a head, shoulders, torso, but no legs, and just two holes where there should be eyes. My dad noped the hell out of there. Since the hospital was shut down, it has been on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and Myriad of a myriad of other shows and movies. My dad has been in some of them. Jason from Ghost Hunters called it the scariest place he's ever investigated. Well, that's cool. Well, not cool. Scary, but cool. I'm going to read this last one. So this one isn't police, really. It's more like fire. Fire EMS here. This is not my story. It happened on a different shift. The captain working overnight with us, sorry, my hair, one day told it to us and it creeped me out. The captain was on the first due engine company that was dispatched to a residential fire alarm in the middle of the night. Our dispatch protocols require us to send the first due unit emergency to a fire alarm, while the second due engine and ladder company respond routine. We go to tons of fire alarms, and 99% of the time they are caused by a faulty system or burnt food. So we usually don't get too worked up over them. Anyways, as they approach the neighborhood, they see the orange glow in the distance, and when they get on scene, they found a 4,000 square foot house with heavy fire showing on the rear, and that had already broken through the roof. The call was then upgraded to a working structure fire, and more units were dispatched to assist. The captain of the first due stayed on the outside the whole time. He was incident commander until the first battalion chief arrived on scene and took over. Then he assumed the safety role. So he's on the outside in radio contact with crews that are inside fighting the fire. After the bulk of the fire had been extinguished and as operations were winding down, the captain sees smoke inside a second-story window and asked crews inside to go inside the room on the BC corner to make sure the fire hadn't spread to the other side of the house. The crew searched for a few minutes and radio back, "There's no room there, sir." The captain is a bit confused as he is staring at what is clearly a window that is attached to a room of some sort. He relays detailed instructions of where the room should be to the crews inside, and they again advise that they can't find anything. Incredulous, the captain asks the incident commander for permission to go inside of the structure so he can show the interior crews exactly where the room in question is. His request is granted, and he goes inside, walks up the staircase, and walks towards the corner in question. There's no room there, just a hallway with a corner. No doorway, no window, no room. Knowing that there has to be something behind the wall, they breach the drywall and crawl to find a child's bedroom. The bedroom had a dresser, a desk, and a perfectly made bed that looked as if it hadn't been disturbed in years. For whatever reason, the owners of the home decided to wall off the bedroom and leave it just as it was, untouched and inaccessible. The captain said it was one of the strangest and eeriest things he had been in a while. That's creepy. Super creepy. I would not want to do that job. Especially if it was boarded all the way up. Like, that's so creepy. I'm wondering, maybe that entity is locked in there now? I don't know. All I know is that one was creepy. But that was today's video, you guys. I'm sorry that my voice is kind of scratchy. If you saw the last video, you know I was diagnosed in positive. Please wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, exercise, eat vegetables, eat fruit, drink lots of water, take care of yourself. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.